Oh my God, it came out so good, Ben.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the Bristol Motor Speedway. John Mushton alongside me tonight, and he was talking about how well the turkey came out before the green flag here. John has had turkey. I've had my signature championship night of a ham sandwich. So I mean, we got the daily meats covered, John. But here we go, nonetheless, live right here on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page. Thanks for tuning in. It's the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries. And here we go, John. 4 drivers going for one big prize. If you missed a pre-race show, we'll talk about that prize here in just a couple minutes. But the great Coliseum, John, here we go, Bristol Motor Speedway.
That's right, Ben. The last great Coliseum, in my opinion. I mean, I've been to the one in Rome. Not quite as exciting as this. We're going to have some trucks on track here in a little bit for these folks, putting on a great show. We 's 4 guys vying for the championship tonight. We're going to touch on that here in a little bit. I'm excited. And yes, the turkey was fantastic.
Turkey's all said and done. Now we're getting ready to go racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And we'll talk about those 4 drivers racing for the championship here tonight. Trey Edson, Jason Jacoby, Chad Cole, and Chad Coleman. John, they're the top 4 heading into tonight. It's the playoff deal, so we take whoever finishes first out of those 4 to, we're going to take them to Texas Motor Speedway. Thanks to Interstate Batteries, that they're going to get 2 tickets to the spring NASCAR Texas race, including airfare, hotel, hot passes. They'll get a meet and greet with Kyle Busch and others, all courtesy of Interstate Batteries. So thanks to all the great people behind the scenes that has put this great championship package together for our champion to be crowned after 150 laps of Bristol.
Man, I'm kind of jealous a little bit there, Ben. That's a really awesome prize package. Thank you to Interstate Batteries for doing something like that. Joe Gibbs Racing, that's an amazing thing to do for these drivers. I mean, who knew that just, 15, 20 years ago when we all started playing with this sim racing thing that it could lead to such awesome stuff like this. Now, Ben, I want to touch on something real quick. Don't look now, but 2 of our guys that are fighting for that awesome prize package are at the moment, with 1 minute left in the qualifying, first and second. That's Trey Edson and Jason Jacoby. But guess who hadn't taken a lap yet? That's Chad Coleman in that 20. And if he stays where he's at, he's going to start way back in 35th.
That he will. And it looks as if Johnny's made contact with the wall. And if you're not familiar with the iRacing service, if you make contact with the wall or cut the track any shape or form on your qualifying effort, you will the time will be disallowed. So that is what has happened with Coleman. Chad Cole, John, the other one of the 4 drivers challenging for the championship battles currently, has qualified 13th. So he's got a little bit of work to do to make his way to the front. But the good thing is 150 laps, plenty of time to do it here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Plenty of time, Ben. I almost called you Joey. Sorry about that. I was just talking to Joey Gattina, the Sim 500 head honcho, earlier. But part of the problem with starting like that in the back, though, is first off, if it goes green all the way, you're not too far ahead of the leader already to start the race, Ben. We've seen that happen before. But also, you can get mixed up in somebody else's accident very quickly because they're doing 15 second laps here. So you just, it's always a pain to start in the back of Bristol.
It certainly is, and we're going to witness a spectacular race. If you missed the Super Bowl halftime show last night, boy, did you miss a good one. We thank you, though, if you did tune in right here on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page. You witnessed a spectacular finish. Now it's time to run you through the starting lineup for the championship race in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries. Trey Edson will lead us to the green flag alongside Jason Jacoby. Now, John, you'll notice the 2 Interstate Battery stripe schemes on these trucks. That will be a determining factor of how the viewers can pick out which drivers are in the top 4. So the front 2 there in the final 4, you can tell by the paint schemes. And I'll let you take row 2 here, John.
Well, thank you, Ben. And yes, folks, I do see those paint schemes on track, and I know the guy that did them. Anyway, EJ O'Rourke comes in inside row two in third place, and to his outside in the 91 is Steve Gottschalk in fourth.
David Comstock going to roll off fifth, and outside of him it'll be the 23 of Josh Parker.
Inside row four, Jason Barham in the 83. To his outside, the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach.
Eric Arnold's going to roll off ninth, and rounding out the top 10 going to be Scott Simley. As the rest of the field going to scroll across your screen, you'll see Chad Cole pop up there in row number 7 on the inside. He's in the 82, and you got to go way back to row number 11 where you'll find Chad Coleman starting on the outside. Those are the final 4 heading into tonight. We'll keep an eye on them, but also up for grabs is a checkered flag here at Bristol Motor Speedway, John, and those 4 drivers have another 26 drivers for a combined 30, all chasing one checkered flag here tonight at the Great Coliseum.
That's right, and I guess you may have touched on it. I don't know, I didn't hear, but they don't have to win the race, folks, to win the championship. They just have to finish in front of the other 3 guys to win this championship. So that's just one more thing to keep in mind.
As we'll compare it to almost a race inside a race, John, for the championship. You're not only racing the 26 drivers around you, but the ones that you really want to focus on are the ones with the striped paint schemes. If you're leading the striped schemes, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be in Texas in the spring.
I wonder if I could talk the championship winner taking me as his +1. Probably not.
I'm going to keep that to you and the champion, John.
Well, here we go. Ben, lights are off, and they're getting ready to go green, buddy.
That they are. We'll do one more pace lap here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and then get set to rack them and stack them for 150 laps in the championship race. Boy, it's been a fun season here in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries. We thank each and one of you fans for tuning in. Be sure to share this event with your friends and family. Let them know how you're spending your Monday night right here watching the action on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page. Stream provided by the Sim Racing Network. John Mushton, me, Ben Kilcrease in the booth, our very loyal producer, Mitch Rollo, getting a picture that you see to you. It's been a fun season. It all comes to an end tonight. They stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. One driver's going to Texas. The rest are going to be watching on TV. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Bristol.
Edson jumps out to an early start, and I tell you what, it looks like the high lines are going to stay where they are for right now. Jacoby stays out there in that 88. He's got the 41 of EJ O'Rourke behind him in third, and it looks like they're trying to sort out fourth back there between Comstock and the 91 of Gottschalk there.
Jason Jacoby has already tagged the wall on the front straightaway and championship contender. He sits second right now on the bumper of Trey Edson as they race down to turn number 3. Edson tried to work the bottom in 3 and 4 last time around, but the top side, John, going to be the dominant lane here in this one, I do believe. You see the top 3 run tail to nose. Edson, Jacoby, and EJ O'Rourke sits there third in the 41.
Yeah, Jacoby's got his eyes set on that lead right now, and I'm going to be honest with you, Ben. Bristol's a track we know for a fact that really the best way to get around somebody, you're going to have to move them. You're going to have to get down into that bumper and move them a little bit, get them out of the way. It's very hard to pass on the inside here at Bristol.
And it is. Either you got to move them or you got to wait for them to make a mistake, maybe tag the wall, or wait for the tires to kind of fall off and then try and scoot around the bottom side of the racetrack. That's going to be all into play as we race this 150-lap bout here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Edson opens up about a 3-car length lead, truck length lead rather, as they race to turn number 3 and 4 to the front straightaway. He completes lap number 5 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Jason Jacoby sits second. Third is EJ O'Rourke. Steve Gottschalk, good run for the 91 in fourth there, and fifth to Josh Parker there in the 23.
I tell you what, I'm back here watching Chad Cole in the 82, another one of our championship contenders. He just put a pass on, so move him up to 11th. Dwayne Vincent in that 13 back to 12th. And in the meantime, it looks like Mr. Coleman is running 23rd. He's not having a whole lot of fun back there.
Coleman is not. Did not get a qualifying lap in, and he's still trying to work the bottom side of the racetrack. Really not working this early on for the driver of that number 20. Sits outside the top 20. 22nd last time by for Chad Coleman. He's got some work to do if he wants to go to Texas in the caution waves for the first time here tonight in Bristol.
And I don't see where it's at there, Ben, to be honest with you.
Looks like it'll be for the 89 of Brian Wertman. Comes to spins it off at turn number 4, makes contact with the inside safer barrier, and puts us under caution for the first time here tonight. As we get the replay pulled up, you see just a one truck incident there slowing us down for the first time.
Yeah, he got a little loose there. It looks like he was already off track by the time I got back there to look for him. But yeah, that's unfortunate to bring out the flag this early. But I tell you what, that gives these guys and Raymond Rittenauer just fell out with an unacceptable throughput. That's unfortunate. He'll be back though. It's going to give these guys a chance to calm down a little bit, catch their breaths, and maybe work over what they were doing wrong these first 6 laps.
And with now 10 laps complete in this race, I'm not sure if pit road was open there. Didn't see any of the top competitors. There is a couple drivers coming down pit road from about mid-pack. Dwayne Vincent, one of those. Jeff Sharp, one of those drivers. Matthew Welsenbach. So only 10 laps in, John, and most of the top drivers decide to stay out for this first round of pit stops. You see a couple other drivers coming down pit road on the back stretch. That's where their pit stalls are. So that's kind of interesting, John. I figured we'd see a couple of the lead guys come down pit road, at least take right side tires, but not the case, as I'd say a good 15 or so stayed out under this first caution.
Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Ben. I've never done a truck race at Bristol personally. I've done some late models, B car, A car, all that stuff, but never did trucks. So I'm not real sure how the tires handle on this track, how much wear we get on them. But I would love to see this thing go green for about, 80 laps and see what what happens to these trucks if they start slipping and sliding everywhere.
Absolutely, and I can just I can imagine, if we get a good 100 lap race or so, a run rather in this race, how slippery these tires are going to become. Let's take a look at the Interstate batteries weather at the track right now as it sits. 78 degrees is the air temperature. John, know that track temperature 104, and that's just going to continue to rise over the course of this race.
Absolutely, with that sun beating down on the track and the fact that there is no wind coming through here to cool the track off, nothing but trucks driving over with that that open exhaust, those pipes right there on the concrete. This place will heat up real fast, and once that happens, the tires get slick, the trucks start sliding around, and that is what makes Bristol Bristol.
That it does. Boy, what a great race we're seeing so far. So glad you've tuned in right here on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page. Be sure to share this link, share this live event with your friends and family. Let them know what you're doing right here on your Monday night. Comment, let us know where you're tuning in from. You might get a shout out right here in the booth. You never know. We do keep an eye on the comments, John. We like to see what our fans think. Let us know who you think is going to win the big prize and head to Texas Motor Speedway in the spring for the NASCAR race. Either Trey Edson in the 40, Jason Jacoby in the 88, Chad Cole in the 82, or Chad Coleman in the number 20.
The lights are out, Ben. We're getting ready to go back to green.
Be the first restart of the night, and not much has changed, John, since the initial green flag. It'll line up pretty much the same all the way back. Edson, Jacoby, O'Rourke, Gottschalk, and the 23 of Parker. That'll be the top 5 for this restart. So they'll stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. Watch Edson, John, if he goes to the bottom like he did on the initial start for one lap. Jacoby may be able to squeeze in on the outside of him. Green flag's back in the air. Good run for Jacoby. He may have the top by the time they get to 1 and 2. Can he power around the outside of the 40?
See, I was going to say he's going to have to get a little bit better start on that. As you see,
they're crashing behind.
Oh.
One truck in the wall. It's the 83 of Jason Barham. And a couple others going to be involved in that one, putting us under caution for the second time here at Bristol Motor Speedway. That happened off of turn number 2, and it was a 31.
Oof.
Making a little contact with
Did you see how close he came to Cole?
I did. And we'll see on the replay, Cole actually got a little bit of damage there in the driver's side door, so a championship contender close to being taken out early in this one.
I'll tell you what, that was too close for comfort right there for Cole. I'm sure he's probably just in his cockpit right now thinking to himself, man, I need to get out of this pack.
And he'll gain some positions John, due to the incident there, he'll find himself up to 7th after starting 13th in this race. He is the biggest mover so far of the night.
I tell you what, watching this replay again, I tell you, he was good to save that truck because he was sideways after the 31 got into him.
That he was, and if we can get our producer to take a look at the left side and the right side, John. The left side door, a little crinkle there right on the number, and then on the right rear quarter panel of this truck where the bed meets the tailgate, it's also got a wrinkle there. You see the spoiler kind of offset there on Chad Cole's number 82 as well. So a little bit of damage on the 82 early on, but it doesn't look like it's affecting him. We'll wait and see how it's going to look on this restart.
Well, the good news is it's Bristol, so it's not like Talladega where we need all the aerodynamics we can get. You can finish this race with no fenders as long as your engine's still strong.
That you can. So we'll keep an eye on Chad Cole over the course of this night. It's still early on as we're just past the 1/10th mark of this event. It's still Trey Edson, Jason Jacoby up in the front. Let's take a look at those top four. John Edson leads. Jason Jacoby sits second. Back in third in the championship standings right now is Chad Cole. And Chad Coleman sits fourth in the championship standings. He is 17th, so he's made up a little bit of ground, but still got quite a bit of ways to go to the front.
Well, good news is he still has a long way to go, a lot of laps to get there. He just needs to dodge these bullets that are being constantly thrown at him. The 82 got a little piece of that earlier, so that's what we're talking about, folks. This is a short track, and you can be driving the perfect race, but somebody, 2 or 3 rows up ahead of you gets in trouble, you could be right in the middle of it.
So glad you've tuned in right here live on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page, the Sim Racing Network, providing coverage of the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series, powered by Interstate Batteries. John Mushin alongside me, Ben Kilcrease, and Mitch Rollo, our executive producer, getting a picture that you see to you. Stay up to date with us at the Sim Racing Network. All you have to do is go to thesimracingnetwork.com. There you can find all of our social links, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're also streaming to our YouTube channel, so if you're tuned in there, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be notified whenever we go live. We're also live on our Twitch, so be sure to give us a follow. You can also be emailed whenever we go live. That way you can tune in to live racing whenever and wherever you are in the world. Here we go, set to go racing though, John. Yet again, 20 laps in the books. Do we calm it down a little bit and try and log some laps?
No, absolutely not. It's Bristol. There's no calm at Bristol. Jacoby needs a really good restart right here, Ben, if he wants to keep that outside spot and take this lead away from Edson.
Green flag back in the air, and he'll need a better restart than that. Boy, he got nap time out of the way on that one. Is E.J. O'Rourke going to try and maybe snooker into the second position? Not going to do it off of turn number 2 to the back straightaway. Close call there is O'Rourke. Almost cut the nose off of Josh Parker. Parker trying to get himself up into the podium positions here at Bristol. O'Rourke, though, not going to have a minute of it. Back behind them, David Comstock was able to work his way up into the top 5 position. Steve Gottschalk in the 91 was trying to work the bottom there on that restart. John just did not work, and he went from 4th back to 7th. But hey, look who's now up to 6th. It's another championship contender. It's Chad Cole in the 82.
Yep, I was just looking at that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with Chad's truck right now from that contact he had with 31 earlier. He's moving himself up and looks like he's setting some pretty good pace times there. We're looking at 15.6, 15.7 for these guys on track right now. Ben, that is a fast lap.
That it is at a half mile. It doesn't get much quicker than that, John. They're not dipping down below 115 mile an hour in the turn, so that is just blazing fast here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Chad Cole working on the bumper of the 42, Dave Comstock. That'll be for the 5th position, but John, that's not really a position he's too worried about. He's worried about getting up there and challenging for the lead, which, by the way, Trey Edson is running away with.
Yeah, that's right. I tell you what, Edson, he doesn't have to worry about his braking points and throttle points, Ben, because he can see everything in front of him. We touched on this last week. When you got a truck right in front of you like this, it's hard to see where your brake point's coming up at. And when you're out in front like that and clear sailing, it's easier for you. Your lap times look great. Now, on the back side of that, I don't know what's going on with Jacoby. It looks like he might be struggling with this track or something, but he's definitely holding up the people behind him if you look at this.
Yeah, he is. He's holding up O'Rourke, and Parker and even Comstock there in the mix as well. O'Rourke peeks a nose at the inside, but it's just going to be so hard to pass here with this track the way it is on iRacing, John. We don't have the grippy solution down on the bottom side, so it's really just
ZR1.
The ZR1, and it's just a one groove racetrack for the most part, and it really makes it challenging for a driver. Fun for us up here in the broadcast booth, though. When they really want to get around somebody, they got to get creative.
Well, I was going to say creative in most people's books, especially on iRacing, is to send that vehicle down in a turn as hard as you can, because you know the old saying, Ben, 8 wheels are always better than 4.
Absolutely, and whether that 8 wheels comes from a bumper, from the tail to the nose, or a door from right to left, it's either way. I can guarantee you, when it comes down to the end of this thing, and we've got some battles going on, tempers are going to go, or friendships are going to go out the window when it comes down to winning one of these deals. Jason Jacoby slowly starting to close back in on Trey Edson. He was faster last time around than the driver in the number 40. But, John, it's starting to look like Edson wants a repeat of last week at the Roval, if you remember the dominant performance he had there.
Man, he just put on a show at the Roval last week, Ben. Kind of made us all look kind of silly. He had, a 13-second finishing the lead there when it was over and done with. But I'm looking ahead of Edson right now, Ben, and it looks to me like he's going to be running into traffic here pretty soon in the form of a lap car of Brian Wortman. Wortman's back out on track again, several seconds behind the nearest car to him. So that may play a part. If we stay green and Edson starts getting into traffic, that'll help Jacoby catch up to him a little bit quicker.
Absolutely, and the thing with this track, John, is the lap cars, it's really hard to run the inside and keep up any speed and momentum, so they like to run the top side as well. And as a leader heading into the lap traffic, it's your job to find the safest way around those cars. So Edson may have to try and run the bottom here over the next couple of laps once he starts getting into the back of the field. And if that happens, I can rest assured that we'll see that 88 start to close in. He's already closing in. It was 8.5 tenths last time, John. About the same that time. It's almost an accordion, in and out. Just Jacoby, he'll catch him one lap, lose him a little bit next time, as we're on board with the Sim Racing Network drone.
Well, I'll tell you, it's also a matter of getting your rhythm down here at Bristol, and this is a rhythm track, and what we mean by that, folks, is on and off the throttle, and each turn's different. One's a little bit wider than the other one, and to be completely honest, I get them mixed up sometimes. I think it's 1 and 2 is the most narrow part of the track, and then 3 and 4 a little bit wider as far as the turn radius. So getting your rhythm down, getting in those quarters right. Here we go. Edson's coming up on Wortman now. Wortman's going to give way down at the bottom, check up, let these guys get by him as quick as they can. That's professional and sportsmanlike right there on Wortman's path.
Absolutely. Great job by Wortman letting these leaders duke it out. These two drivers not only going for the win tonight, but the championship and a trip to the NASCAR Spring Texas race. And boy, do we have does JGR have a spectacular package courtesy of Interstate batteries lined up for them. Hot passes and hotel airfare covered. They'll get a meet and greet with Kyle Busch and other drivers during the weekend as well. So these guys really putting on a show and doing everything they can to make it to Texas.
I want to go to Texas, Ben. Oh,
well,
caution's on the track.
Caution's out, so we'll have some time to talk about who's going to Texas and who isn't for the third time tonight, rather. Caution out. It's the 0-5 and the 5 involved. So let's see here. It just was the
like the 5 and the 24 got into each other there, yeah.
Wow. So there we go, putting us under caution for the third time here tonight. John, we're on the iRacing service tonight, and right now let's take a quick break. Perfect time to introduce you to the iRacing service. We'll let Will Vincent tell you about it.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway and back to the Joe Gibbs Racing Off-Season Sim Series powered by Interstate batteries. A handful of pit decisions being made. Tommy Ryan stays out to lead a lap there. Trey Edson, though, John, looks like he'll regain the lead. Brian Wortman going to stay out to get one of his 13 laps back in the number 89. And for the most part, John, it's a good portion of the field still on the lead lap. 27 trucks still on the lead lap. Only 4 13 or more laps down, and most of those drivers, Jason Barham, Eric Arnold, and Raymond Rittenor, have all retired from this race. Wortman's still out making some laps, but still got a hefty field of trucks here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Going to go a couple more times under caution. And how about this, John? Chad Cole started this race 13th and has worked his way to 4th. How about that for a driver that wants to go to Texas?
Shit. He and Jacoby will be starting on the same row there, as I was trying to say. Sorry about that. Jason Jacoby, I apologize, folks, for that. Jason Jacoby, Chad Cole will be next to each other on this restart. And it looks like Chad Coleman, has worked his way up to 11th, Ben, from 22nd. So he's making, what is that, lemonade out of lemons?
There you go. So we'll see over the next couple of runs. We're closing into the 100 lap to go mark of Bristol Motor Speedway. So we'll see if he can slowly get back up to the front here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Lights are off here on the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car, set for the, I believe it would be the 3rd restart of the night. Trey Edson, E.J. O'Rourke, Jason Jacoby, Chad Cole, and David Comstock. Top 5 as we get set to go back under green here with just over 100 laps to go, 103 to be exact. 2 by 2 the field goes. We're back racing at Bristol.
And that's a great start once again by Edson. Not so much of a good start by O'Rourke out there in the 41. He's got Jacoby down the inside, but we know, Ben, that's just not going to work down the inside. You can't pass. Now look at that. Look at how close O'Rourke pulls up to the bumper of that 40 of Trey Edson. Behind Jacoby, we've got the 82 of Chad Cole, looking to make his way up into this fight for the lead. And wow, somebody just sent it way down into that turn. That was Comstock back there in the 42.
Trying to do everything he can down on the bottom, and the caution going to wave again. It's for the 06 of Doug Sigmund on the front straightaway. He has a little bit of contact. Looks like with the 14th, Jatina, sending him around and into the inside safer barrier.
Yeah, we had a few cars involved in that one, Ben, and that's unfortunate, but that is part of Bristol. That's short track racing at its best right there, or worst, however you want to look at it. People just fighting over real estate, and as we touched on earlier in the broadcast, it's so hard to pass on this track. And you get loose coming off of a turn, you tap that wall, and that slows you down. Everybody behind you has to, duck and move and try not to run you over. So we'll probably see that again, I'm sure, a few times.
So not only did the 06 get turned around on that caution, Ryan Cole Wilson also got a piece of it, as did the 1 and the 99, the 1 of Gaboo and the 99 of Ryan. So a couple trucks involved in that, and that's a big problem here, John, at Bristol. Everything just happens so quick. It's hard to get on the binder. It's hard to avoid trouble if it happens right in front of you.
It really is. Like we touched on earlier, the laps here go so fast. I mean, 15 seconds, Ben, that's not a lot of time, And when you're on track and these guys are doing 120 going down the front stretch there, 140 going down to the turns, you don't have a whole lot of reaction time. So it's just it's more like a high-speed game of bumper cars.
High-speed game of bumper cars. How about that? I wanna know when that comes to the local fair.
I'll let you know. Hey, look, man, down here in South Louisiana, we like to take the Tim the Toolman Taylor approach to our bumper cars, if you know what I mean. More power.
Oh man, So Trey Edson leads, and he is one of the championship contenders. He is sitting in a perfect position to go to Texas in the spring, and as part of the championship prize presented in courtesy of Interstate Batteries. And John, he has led every lap of this race, albeit just a handful of those drivers, a couple of drivers that stayed out under pits. It's looking like another dominant performance is in store for the number 40 machine, and that has been the story of the week all week long since the Roval where he won. I went back and checked, John. He won by over 25 seconds.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. Well, I mean, that really doesn't come as a surprise, though, Ben. Trey Edson has been a hot driver these last few weeks. And what I mean by that is if he's not winning, he's up front somewhere, second or third. He's got, 2 wins now, consecutive wins? He won at the Roval on the week before that, didn't he?
I do believe so. So Edson is just on a streak here in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries, and he's looking to close it all out tonight here at Bristol. But he's got some fierce competition in the form of Jason Jacoby and Chad Cole. And, we haven't talked much about him, though, tonight because he's not really a part of the championship battle. But E.J. O'Rourke has had a great run in that number 41. He finds himself second. He'll restart on the outside row here. So E.J. O'Rourke in a pretty good position to maybe sneak one out here at Bristol.
I'll tell you what, if these guys on the outside can get a decent enough start with that leader, instead of lagging back like 41 is right now, he's got to get right up there and stay right on the side of the 40. If they can do that, they've got a chance of taking that lead away on the outside lane there on this restart. So let's see what happens.
That they do. O'Rourke gets in the gas, back underway. Good restart for the 41, but the 40 will clear him down into turn number 1. Chad Cole doing everything he can. How about the 23 of Parker? Sent it down on the bottom. Cole almost made it 3 wide on the outside. And here comes that outside lane. They'll take the command back once we get up to full power. And Chad Cole sits 4th. Jason Jacoby 3rd. 2nd, E.J. O'Rourke, and Trey Edson is your leader as we work lap 56 at Bristol.
I tell you what, Fuller, man, he paid for that. He sent it down in there, but he didn't get anywhere with it and lost a couple spots in the process. And I think the 11 car is about to learn that same thing of Justin Fuller. The inside just doesn't work here, Ben. And like you said earlier, we don't have the sticky stuff. What did Earnhardt call it? The sticky goop down there on the inside? We don't have that in iRacing, and it's really unfortunate because this track, back in its day, even in sim racing, was a blast to run. You had 2 good lines, midway through the race. You had the inside and the outside. It just depends on where your vehicle would handle best. But we don't get that here yet. So, oh, wow. Ooh. O'Rourke just tagged the wall a little bit there and bottled everybody up right there.
I saw that, and it's not what the 2 guys behind him want to see. They're saying, come on, man, just out of the way, let us race the guy in front of you because we've got a whole lot more to lose. O'Rourke up into the wall again, and you see Jacoby eases up on that tailgate, maybe starting to get a little bit impatient with the driver of the 41 machine as they work lap number 60, closing in on halfway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. John, let's talk about that driver in the 5th position. Justin Fuller started 23rd, is up to 5th. He is now the biggest mover of the race.
And he is trying his best to make something happen in that middle of the inside line there. And I feel for him. I don't know if he's going to, he's going to have to get rough is what he's going to have to do to make a pass here. I hate to say that. It's not the way I like to drive, but you just can't pass unless you're on the outside without getting aggressive.
Yeah, he's slowly but surely making up ground, but at this rate, John, it's going to take 100 laps to pass one truck, and he might be down to do that. He's real good on entrance, good through the center. He just can't really put the power down on exit. And you see Josh Parker now going to get to the outside of him. That's going to cut more real estate for him to swing out wide on corner exits.
Right there,
Fuller may even lose another position. He was gaining on Chad Cole. Now he's starting to fall back a little bit under pressure from Parker as they'll battle side by side for the 5th spot. Still up front, Trey Edson, no contest behind. It is E.J. O'Rourke trying to reel him in, but over the past couple laps, Edson has been inching further and further away.
And I tell you what, talking about that 11 again, he is eating his tires up down there too. That's another thing about running that bottom line. It eats the tires up.
Oh, they're crashing. Fuller is up and over. on
This
his
is
roof,
ugly.
back on 4 tires, drop a gear and go. I think he may be good.
Yeah, he's still
My, oh
rolling.
my. Well,
Ducks straight down to the pit road, too.
and he'll pull it to the pits immediately after crashing on the back straightaway. We talked about it, John. He needed just that little bit extra real estate to come up, and the 23 was there. The two make contact, and into the wall they go.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's what I said earlier. That inside just doesn't work. It really doesn't, and that's an unfortunate, byproduct of the resurfacing of this track. But I hope he's able to get back out there. But he took a tow because he was crabbing that truck. It was pretty substantial damage he had there. So he'll be several laps down if he does get back out. In the meantime, back up front, it's still the Trey Edson show, Ben.
Trey Edson show indeed, and everybody's down on pit road except for your leader, Trey Edson. And how about that for a race-changing decision, John? That may be the call that either wins him the championship or costs him the championship here tonight at Bristol.
Very, very interesting, yes?
Oh, my.
Man,
Wow.
I don't know. But that's also a problem with being the leader, Ben. Everybody's going to do the opposite of what you do when it comes down to the strategic pit calls. This is the time of the race, 68 laps in. They've been out there on these tires. They have run some green flag laps on these tires, so it's been, been some wear and tear. So now we're going to see, do tires make a difference here? It looks like everybody coming off pit road there is the same, except for Chad Cole gains 1 spot on Jacoby, it looks like there, Ben.
Yep, Cole bumps up a spot, bumps Jacoby back behind him, but that does put Cole on the inside for this restart. So we'll have to try and get either in front of the 88 or slide up to the top side as soon as he can to get back into a rhythm. But man, oh man, how about Trey Edson staying out? He is leading the championship points right now, or leading the final 4, I should say. And all he has to do from here on out is win this race. But that's pretty easier said than done, John. He's now got to do that on older tires with a snarling pack of trucks behind him. Everybody from, second on back to 23rd on the end of the lead lap are hungry for a win, and they want to steal it away from Trey Edson.
And hey, Ben, guess what?
What's that?
Our 4th championship runner, Chad Coleman in that 20, 9th place right now after all those pit stops from 22nd place. So now they're all 4 in the top 10, all 4 within striking distance, And like you said, Edson is the only one in the top 10 on the old tires.
So what you're saying, John, is by about 15 or so laps, depending on how much wear he has on those 4 tires, he could be the one outside of the top 10.
I don't want to jinx a brother. I'm just saying.
Man.
This could be, like you said, this could be the call that either makes or breaks the championship for the man. And we're going to find out here shortly as it's 1 to go, Ben. They're stacking them back up. And everybody's on the inside road except for Jason Jacoby in that 88 on the outside row. They're in 4th.
That they are. And here we go, set to go back racing just a couple laps prior to the halfway point here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Championship night in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series, powered by Interstate batteries. You see the stripes on the 3 trucks there in the top 4. Those are 3 of the drivers competing for the championship tonight. Green flag back at the air. Good restart for that bottom lane.
Edson didn't waste any time there getting in that throttle, old tires or not. So he's going to keep his lead, it looks like. But wow, look at Cole down there on the inside, making a fight not only for second, but for the lead as well. It looks like those old tires are starting to show up there for the 40.
Fighting for the lead, fighting for the championship. Jacoby going to put the bumper to Cole on the front straightaway. Edson and Cole now side by side for the lead and for the championship in a NASCAR trip to Texas in the spring. Here we go. Top 3 in the points, top 4 on the track, now top 5. Throw a blanket over them.
You can absolutely tell a difference in these trucks right now with these tires, Ben. The 40 is not making the same speed, even on the outside lane, as the other trucks are right now. So he's really just holding everybody up. I believe that Cole is going to take this lead here within the next 2 to 3 laps.
Oh, he almost had him cleared there, but Edson fights back on the outside. Again, John, any other race, Edson may let him go, but this is for a NASCAR trip. Airfare, hotel, etc., all covered. You get to meet Kyle Busch and many other drivers, and Chad Cole is doing everything he can to take off in the spring and head down to Texas. And here comes Jacoby. He may make it 3 wide for the lead if they're not careful.
I tell you what, this is insane racing at lap 75, halfway, folks. Right now, lap 76. Excuse me. We are halfway in this race, and we could throw a blanket over the top 5. And let's recap this for you. Everybody pitted pretty much, except for our leader, Trey Edson, and he is doing his best to hold these guys off that lead right now.
That he is, and here comes Chad Cole making another charge off of turn number 4. Jacoby gets a little crossed up off turn 4 there that time. O'Rourke tags the outside wall. We're looking down from the Sim Racing Network drone on this battle for the lead. Edson works the top side. Cole works the bottom. Cole with the fresher tires. Edson on the older tires, and it looks like for the time being, John, he may luck out and hold off the hard charge from that 82.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with Cole holding second down right there. He hadn't given up anything to O'Rourke out there on the outside. Or look at that, Comstock now in 4th. Jacoby drops back to 5th. But, Coleman is holding his own. This is a guy that was involved in a wreck in mid-pack, not too long ago. We thought, hey, look at that damage. This could affect him. Now he's going to jump to the outside, and look at that. O'Rourke dives down the inside now. They're going to see if they can, maybe O'Rourke can do something with Trey Edson.
Oh, O'Rourke got really loose there off turn 4, and he may be in jeopardy of losing the second position. So Cole says, that's fine. I'll take the outside. We'll put you down on the bottom and see how you like it for a couple laps. Chad Cole, though, now working the outside of the racetrack up right against that black safer barrier down into turn number 1 and 2. Look at the top 4 up on the outside, John. Tail to nose, bumper to bumper, almost contact being made.
This is an amazing race right now. Been so exciting to watch. Edson is really using the track to his benefit. He's got such an odd line going through turns, 1 and 2 down there. He kind of goes in mid, washes up a little bit high, and then arcs it back down low, and he's not losing any ground doing that. It's really fun to watch. Watch this right here. Look at how he does that.
Yeah, all the way almost to the bottom side of the racetrack does Edson go. And E.J. O'Rourke, that move down to the bottom, has now shuffled himself back to 5th. But man, oh man, these guys up front putting on a heck of a show. Chad Cole now, John, he's just got to be patient with the 40. Wait for him to make a mistake. Wait for him to slip up one time. And if he does, he's going to be right there to capitalize.
O'Rourke is steady, just getting the paint off the right side of his truck on that wall back there. I think every lap he's probably touched it a little bit. In the meantime, right in front of him, Jacoby's got his hands full, trying to get around the 42 there of Comstock. Again, Ben, it's going to be tough to make a pass here without applying a little bit of a bumper, I think. And I don't know, do you do it now, Ben, or do you wait until the latter part of the race and get it done?
I think if you're one of these top 4 going for a championship, you got to get every position while you can, because you may not have another one in the race. And Chad Cole did everything but put the bumper to Trey Edson down there in turn number 1. Again, for the fans that maybe just be tuning in, Trey Edson is about on 30 to 40 lap older tires than the trucks behind him. Everybody from second on back came down on the last lap or last round of pit stops under caution about 15 laps ago, and now they're trying everything they can to get around the 40.
It looks to me like Jacoby is faster than Comstock in 3 and 4, but Comstock's got him covered in 1 and 2. So if you watch right here, he gets right up on his bumper coming through this turn and almost touches him right there on exit. That's crazy. I tell you what, and up front with Edson and Cole, Cole is being so patient right now. But oh wow, look at that move that Coleman back there in the 20 just made. He's moving his way back up. Again, folks, Chad Coleman's another one of our championship contenders. Didn't get his qualifying done too well. What happened was he touched the wall. When you have contact in qualifying, those laps don't count. So he initially just started back in the field there in 22nd spot and has worked his way all the way up to 7th. And Ben, he's making some great moves working his way up to the pack.
Trying to get the 6th position away from Scott Simley, and Simley thought it was going to give it to him, but should be able to clear him down here in 1 and 2, should Coleman. I jumped on a microphone a minute ago because Jason Jacoby had a little contact with the safer barrier. Here comes E.J. O'Rourke now looking to the inside of that 88. Not going to do anything there. Top 5 still tail to nose. And go ahead and throw Chad Cole in the mix. In the number 20. Started outside the top 20. Is up to 6th and looking for more.
That'll teach me to write people off, won't it, Ben?
Absolutely. We didn't, if I had to guess, I'd figured he may have been a factor, under 50 to go, but here we are. We're almost at that point, but nonetheless, I thought it'd take him longer to get to the front. I really did with the passing situation here at Bristol Motor Speedway and the outside line being so dominant, but nonetheless, Chad Cole proving us all wrong. And look at what he's doing, John. He's practicing that inside line. He's catching the top 5 on that inside line. I think he may know what the inside line is going to be like in time for when he gets there. He might be able to blow by these guys on the bottom.
But one important factor Coleman, I'm sure, has in the back of his head, and you brought this up earlier, Ben, once he gets alongside of another truck, he's going to lose that outside real estate that's allowing him to make this speed right now. He can let that truck drift up and maintain some momentum, and whoa, O'Rourke's off the pace big time there. Or maybe he just let him by. I don't know.
I think he may have let him by. He says, go ahead and challenge for the championship. Now David Comstock is the only one in the top 5 not racing for a championship, and I tell you what, he has got the tailgate on that truck just skint up from Jacoby. Jacoby has applied the bumper 5 times every turn, it seems.
I'll tell you what, this is what we wanted right here, Ben. We've got all 4 of our contenders up in the top 5, and I tell you what, you couldn't ask for more.
On board with Jacoby. Comstock gets the wall. Jacoby turns it down to the left, but he gets right back up to the outside line. He knows that he may lose that outside line to Coleman if he stepped out to the inside, but still on board with that number 88 championship contender. He sits 3rd in the fight right now, 4th on track. Does Jacoby, trying to get around David Comstock. Up front, like it's been for the majority of the race, Trey Edson still leads here at Bristol.
Man, Coleman is putting a show on back there in 5th, Ben, with his line through these turns. I mean, he is making up significant ground down there on the inside. That is not something we've seen at all this race so far. I tell you what, if he keeps this up, and if Jacoby keeps being delayed, I guess is a word to put, by Comstock, where he's going to have his hands full with Coleman in that 20 truck here pretty soon.
Absolutely. Coleman has had all race back in the middle of the pack to really run different lines, where the top 5 up here, they've all been, running around the top. They've had a pretty easy race for the most part, just kind of following at Jacoby. A slide job, and he puts Comstock in the wall. Wow, wows, we'll get a replay pulled up on that. We were focused on Coleman, but watch this move down into turn number 1 by Jacoby. He said, I've had enough. I've got a championship to win.
I knew that was coming too. You can only, wait so long. I mean, he did some damage to his own truck doing that, but you know what? It's Bristol. He doesn't need that right rear quarter panel. He just needs to make sure that spoiler stays on. Wow, Ben, what a bold move by that 88. We call him Mr. Excitement for a reason, folks.
And that is one of the reasons why. And I can guarantee if Comstock gets back to the rear bumper,
it's not going to be pretty.
There may be some, like you called, high-speed bumper car action going on as we're back up in the sky with the Sim Racing Network drone looking down at the top 3. These top 3 on the track, John, the same top 3 challenging for the championship. That goes to show you the caliber of drivers in the final 4. All 4 of them inside the top 5.
And I'm still, folks, I want to touch on this. I know I've been beating this like a dead horse, but I mean, you got to give it to Coleman, a guy who was not able to get decent qualifying laps in, started in the back of the pack at Bristol Motor Speedway of all places. That is not some place you want to start in the back. It's equivalent of starting the back at Talladega and hoping to God their big one doesn't happen in front of you. But Here he is, folks, less than 50 laps to go, worked his way from the top 5, and looking to make a fight for that lead there, Ben, pretty soon.
He is in a prime position, John, if it comes to a late race pit stop. For him to come down and take 2 tires, come out with the lead, and, just get a good jump and protect that outside line, he may win a championship that way. He's in a position to where he could do that right now.
You're right. He's absolutely there in the spot. Really, all 4 of these guys are. They're all in the top 5 right now, Ben. So gambling is what it's going to be all about, really, when it comes down to it. If we have a late race caution, if we have a late race pit stop, 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires even. We've seen that happen before. If you, like you said, if you get in there and get out in the lead and protect that outside line, they're going to have to move you with a bumper because they're not going to pass you on the inside.
40 laps to go, John, and it's getting down to crunch time here. So glad you've tuned in to the season finale here in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries. If you're tuned in live on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page, be sure to share this video and this live event with your friends and family. Let them know how you're spending your Monday night. Tell them you're watching a spectacular battle in the Final 4. One of these drivers gets a exclusive trip to the NASCAR spring race at Texas with airfare, hotel, hot passes, you name it. they're going to have it, a meet and greet with Kyle Busch and a couple other drivers all lined up for the champion of this series. And you're watching 3 of those drivers race for that championship right now inside the top 3. The 4th one is just a little bit behind him. He sits 5th, and that's Chad Coleman.
You know, Ben, something we haven't touched on with all the other excitement we've had on track is the fact that not only has Trey Edson led pretty much every lap of this race, but he's done so on the same set of tires as opposed to everybody behind him who pitted on that last pit stop caution period and took tires, and Edson still maintains his lead, which is kind of a surprise to me. How about you?
Absolutely. And, you know, I've just got to be thinking that Chad Cole, you see him, he's got real good corner speed. I think Cole and Jacoby, I think they're just saving a little bit, John. They're waiting for the maybe 20 to go mark of this race, maybe 15, maybe 10. Maybe Cole's trying to set him up on the outside. I think these guys are just going to wait as long as they can to make that pass. And when it comes time to it, I think they're going to have the better tires. They're certainly in the better situation than Edson with the 40-lap fresher tires. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Boy, I got tongue twisted there. Going to have to wait and see when Chad Cole or when Jacoby is going to make that move.
And let's not forget, we got a spoiler back here in 4th, a guy who's probably a little pissed off right now in the form of Dave Comstock. He got roughed up a little bit by the 88 of Jason Jacoby earlier, and you know that's still in the back of his mind, and you got to wonder, Ben, does he care about a championship right now? Does he care that 88 is running for a championship? He literally just saw his chances for a win knocked around a little bit there by the 88, so there's that to keep in mind as well.
Well, the new Joe Gibbs Racing driver for the 2019 season, Martin Truex Jr., I'll quote him, he may have won the battle, but he's not going to win the war. So we'll have to wait and see if the 42 makes it back to the 88. Look at these top 3, though, John. Tail to nose, putting on a spectacular show for us. And, man, you just got to wonder when Chad Cole, knowing the guy behind the 82, I don't think he's going to really move Edson out of the way. He'll do everything he can to pass him cleanly, but hey, when it comes down to it, I mean, you're looking at a huge trip to Texas in the spring, and, you know, I'd probably wreck my grandma if she was in front of me. and then I'd take her to Texas.
did they tell these guys what's actually on the line? Because if they did, it could get really ugly coming down in the last 10 laps or so. I'm just saying.
They absolutely know what's on the line, and that's why you see them racing so hard and using every inch, literally, of this racetrack. We've seen Jacoby up into the wall a couple times. You see Cole there with a little bit of damage. Edson doing everything he can, and Cole is now starting to get a little antsy on the bumper of that 40. Do we see a challenge? Well, we see a challenge for the lead right now, but do we see Cole try and make a move? Boy, Jacoby tried to squeeze in about a half of a lane there. He was really going to make that truck narrow on the front stretch.
And don't look now, but Comstock's making up ground on these top 3, so he could get in this little picture here shortly. I got to say, Ben, I'm waiting for it. You know, I feel it coming like a dark storm on the horizon. Something's going to happen here pretty soon.
Just under 25 laps to go. It'll be 24 at the line this time, and they're clicking off quick. 16.5 seconds. Chad Cole almost puts the bumper to the 40 again. Over in 4. You see a little bit of a wiggle out of Cole there. Ooh. Over in turn number 3. Did he tag the wall there? Maybe so, but it didn't slow that 82 down any. Jacoby got out of the throttle, maybe thinking it was going to ride against the wall, but man, Cole is right there on the bumper of Edson. And here is Jacoby in 3rd. Comstock sits 4th, and the final 4th championship contender is Chad Coleman, who sits 5th. And if these 3 wreck each other up in the lead, Coleman's sitting in the catbird seat.
Absolutely, and he's got enough of a cushion back there. He'll be able to get woed up and make evasive maneuvers to stay out of the wreck too. So I mean, there's that going for him. A back up front, this battle for the lead, Ben. I mean, I know folks are looking at this like their nose to tail. What battle? You don't understand, folks. These guys are sizing up. The 82 and the 88, Cole and Jacoby, they're sizing Edson up right now. They know he's got older tires, and he's going to start slipping and sliding here over the next couple of laps. All they got to do is wait for him to make a mistake, it looks like.
That arc that Cole takes out of turn number 4, John, we'll see it here. If he leaves just enough gap for Jacoby, look at Jacoby, like that. If he leaves just enough gap and Jacoby puts his nose in there, Jacoby's not lifting. He'll turn the 82 before he lifts off the gas pedal.
That's right, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit with what's on the line right here. I mean, I am seriously. Look at this. He's going to try and power move on the outside again. Oh, he just can't pull it off, though. I tell you what, Edson's got to be nervous right now. He knows how old his tires are. He knows how not old their tires are. He's got to be real nervous right now, Ben.
I don't even know if nervous is a good enough word to describe it. A little bumper there from Cole. And Jacoby, he's got to the outside. Jacoby to the outside. Outside goes to Jacoby. Here comes Cole. He'll have to work the bottom side of the racetrack. Can he make up any ground down there? No. Jacoby gets up to second. Cole doing everything he can to work the bottom. Jacoby almost puts the bumper to Edson off the front straightaway. Edson leads it, heading into the final 16 laps.
And here comes lap traffic in the form of the O's. Caution
is out here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The caution waves with under 14 laps to go. And boy, oh boy, John, how about that for a little bit of drama in this soap opera?
Oh, boy. That is going to put, you know what that's going to do? That is going to put Comstock right up there in the fight. That's going to put Coleman right up in there a fight. And we go back to that question you asked earlier, Ben, who pits and who stays out?
Oh, what do you do?
Well, we're about to find out.
What do you do? Yeah, we're about to find out for sure.
Oh!
Edson.
Oh! He popped him in the bumper.
Edson leads everybody down, but now the question is, two
tires or four?
Or no tires? Two tires or four, rather.
Well, hey, somebody could go for no. I mean, well, no, that wouldn't make any sense. What am I saying? I don't know. I'm so excited right now, but I don't know what I'm saying.
You and me both. Let's.
Look who this is. Who is that? 82. Up. He took two tires. I guarantee it.
Oh my.
Comstock's out. That's a huge shakeup right there. That is huge. We're going to restart this thing with less than a little bit more than 10 laps to go, I should say. Wow, that's huge.
So two tires on Cole. Looks like Edson will lead the field on four tires. My, oh my.
Folks, I recommend that you go to the restroom, get your water, your Coke, your Jack Daniels, whatever it is you need right now, because you're not going to want to miss this last restart.
Wow, speechless we are. Let's pause, John, for, I don't know if 10 seconds will be enough. But
I need to catch my breath.
We're going to do that. Station identification. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. You're watching the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate batteries. What a show, John, we are about to witness here at Bristol. Chad Cole, well, let's just recap the race for you. Trey Edson has led just about every lap of this thing. He stayed out on 40-lap-old tires on the last run there, John. Was caught by, everybody on the restart. Held them off. We have this late caution coming with about 15 laps to go. Everybody heads down pit road. Chad Cole throws the strategy call in there. Two tires, puts him out in front of this field. Everybody behind him now with four fresh tires. And we'll update you fans watching that may not know. Final race of the season tonight. Those trucks in the stripe, the green and white striped paint schemes, those trucks are challenging for a championship prize. They get to head to the NASCAR spring race in Texas, and VIP passes, all the works there. So a big championship prize on the line for Trey Edson, Chad Cole, Jason Jacoby, and Chad Coleman back in the number 20, and we're about to settle it here at the half-mile Bristol.
And watch that 42, Ben. He and the 88 have some history this race, so this should be interesting.
Here we go. 11 laps to go. Can Chad Cole hang on with the two right side tires? He's in the gas. We're back underway. He gets to the outside line, does Cole. Edson down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Can he clear him off of turn number 2? Edson and Cole, they battle side by side for the lead.
And behind them, Jacoby in third. Comstock slides back to fourth. And it looks like up front, Edson takes the lead over, but Jacoby's not done there. He's going to squeeze by for second place and forces Cole back to third.
Edson takes the lead. Jacoby up to second. Chad Cole back to third. Now Cole back to the inside of Jacoby. Edson out in front, and a caution going to wave. Caution comes out. It's for a big one down in turn number 1 and 2. It looks like Boris, you saw him practicing earlier in the pre-race show, was one of the trucks involved, and it happened in front of him with the 24 of Scott Stenzel and the 29. It looks like of Wells and Bach. They get together on the maybe the backstretch there, John. I get my straightaways mixed up here at Bristol so easily, but nonetheless, a pile up down in 3 and 4, putting us under caution with under 10 to go.
That's what we were talking about earlier, folks. If you notice on that replay there, only 2 trucks involved when it started, 7 trucks involved when it finished. This happens so fast on this track. You really don't have a whole lot of time to figure out where you're going to go and what you're going to do. But, Ben, back up front, we have Edson back in the lead on 4 tires. We have the 88 of Jason, Mr. Excitement Jacoby, who has already shown us why he's called Mr. Excitement tonight, restarting on the outside. And then we have Mr. Comstock back there in 4th behind Jacoby. These two have some history in this race.
That they do. Comstock maybe looking to spoil the party for one of these drivers, or maybe all of them. If he gets a chance to challenge for the lead, he's not going to slow down at all. He wants to win this race just as bad as the final 4 drivers do. So we'll keep an eye on him. But how about Trey Edson? The move on the restart, Cole gave him plenty of room, was very sportsmanlike about it, didn't try and pinch him down, didn't try and race him too hard. Did the right thing there, and Edson gets by him clean and was about to start pulling away, I do believe, if we didn't get that caution. But we've got to survive one more final restart here at the Bristol Motor Speedway with Edson leading us back to the green. It'll be his call on when we go. Jacoby in the 88 will restart 2nd. 3rd will be Chad Cole. 4th, David Comstock. And 5th will be E.J. O'Rourke. Chad Coleman still, he's still part of the fight back in 7th, but he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and get back by about 6 trucks in 5 laps. Under 5
Yes,
laps.
he does. Yes, he does. Ben, next flag ends it. But let's reiterate, folks, the green and white striped vehicles you see, the 88, the 42, the 40, the 20, and the 82, they don't have to win the race to win the championship. They just have to finish in front of the other 3. And I'm sorry, folks, little technical issues there. But no, they don't have to win the race. They just have to finish in front of the other 3. Now, to win the race and the championship at the same time is what every driver dreams of. But I just want to emphasize that point right there. They don't have to win the race. They just have to finish ahead of the other 3.
That they do. And always like it when we have a stat guy in our ear telling us how to do our job, John. That was a technical
but we love him.
issue.
We love him, though. We love him, though.
Look at this, John. Interesting decision here. Edson going to choose the outside.
It's the smart move to make
for this restart. It really is. But Jacoby on that inside, we've already seen he's not afraid to pull off a slide job, even if, he's not fully clear. So Edson's got to be worried about that. Jacoby is thinking his move down into turn number 1. Comstock's going to be up there on the outside as well. It's a 4-lap shootout. The next flag ends it, so be it the caution or the checkered flag. Pace car going to head to pit road. They'll stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. Green flag is back in the air. We're back underway at Bristol.
And here we go, folks, on that outside lane. Edson gets a good jump right there and kind of pins the 88 down. Boy, the 88 kind of powered out there a little bit, but I tell you what, he's pinned down that inside, not going to make a whole lot of ground there on the leader, Edson. As a matter of fact, he's got the 4-2 on his outside, kind of making his life difficult.
Comstock challenges Jacoby and puts him back to 3rd. Comstock now going to try and chase down Edson for what could possibly be a win here in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate batteries. Trey Edson out in front. He'll get the twin sticks at the flag stand. 2 laps to go at Bristol.
And I tell you what, right now it looks like it's his race to lose there, Ben. Lose or win, I should say. Behind him, Jacoby's just cannot get around that 42 truck of Comstock. I think this race is pretty much Edson's. 1 lap to go. Here we go.
Final lap of the season. Trey Edson has been dominant in the latter part of this season and through 3 and 4. Trey Edson gonna win the race at Bristol, and he'll be going to Texas in the spring.
God, congratulations to Trey Edson. Fantastic race. Oh, and look at that, a little after race action from Comstock on the 88 there. Let's let him know that he was there, I guess. But everybody's going to congratulate Edson here, and folks, I tell you what, you if you missed any laps here, you missed a hell of a show.
That you did. Trey Edson, your winner tonight, your champion of the series. He'll, try and burn it down on the front straightaway after some congratulatory bumps and waves out the window. Edson gonna burn him down right here on the start-finish line. We'll talk to the champ and tonight's winner in just a quick moment. We're gonna go silent up here in the booth, not only to catch our breath, but to jog down pit road and catch up with the top three and the winner. We'll be right back right here on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page. Don't go anywhere. Top three interviews coming up. Trey Edson still burning him down on the front stretch here at Bristol. He's already done the Polish victory lap, and, well, hopefully John Mushton is going to be able to talk to our third-place finisher over the the noise from the burnout. John Mushton's caught up with the driver who will finish second in the championship standings. He'll finish third in the race tonight. Mr. Excitement is alongside our John Mushton.
That's right, Ben. I have caught up with Jason, Mr. Excitement Jacoby. My heart breaks for you, but at the same time rejoices for you, Jason. Hell of a show you put on tonight, man. Talk to us about your race.
John, congratulations to Trey, and huge thank you to everyone for watching this. This is so much fun. Joe Gibbs Racing, Brian Boris Cook, Interstate Batteries. I'm so confident with the Interstate battery in my car because it always starts up perfectly. But yeah, I mean, I'm telling you what, it was a great race, John. As always, it's so fun running with Sim 500, the league that Joey Katina puts on. We had a lot of close racing, and my belief is, no intentional wrecking, moving people out of the way. I wasn't going to do that. I like to get close to guys' bumpers because it makes for a good show, but it's always going to be clean racing with me. And anytime if I ever give the bumper, it's going to be on accident. But I had a lot of good close racing out there.
That brings me to my next point, Jason. I want to talk to you about that, we'll say, quote unquote, incident on track. Son, I put a lot of work into these trucks, and you scratched yours up pretty good when you got into Comstock there. What happened on that?
Man, I tell you what. So I just wanted to get around David, but I wasn't going to move him. That's not my style, So I figured I'd throw a slide job in there and try to get around him that way. So if there was any error on my part, it was I didn't come up enough on the track in front of David. I'm sorry he got into the wall, but it's always fun racing with those guys. But it was in a slide job to try to get up to Chad Cole and Trey Edson, who are racing for that championship. I was going to try to get my fiance and I out to Texas because she's a huge Kyle Busch fan, as am I, and we wanted to get out there with them. But again, huge congrats to Trey. This is an awesome blessing to be able to run this thing. It's such a cool opportunity, and I'm thrilled. Win, lose, or draw, it's a great experience.
Well, my friend, it was an exciting race you guys put on tonight. I want to thank you for that, and I'm sure our fans out there would love to be able to say thank you for the exciting show that you and the other drivers put on. Do you have anybody you want to thank tonight for your third-place run?
Yes, sir. So everyone watching, once again, on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook, also on my YouTube channel where I live stream at, youtube.com/jjacoby88. Again, Joe Gibbs Racing, Interstate Batteries, Joey Katina, Sim 500, and the hashtag Do It for JD in 2019 because I never met him, but he looked like such a cool guy, and it hits close to home when you're running this league when we all lose him. So thanks again to everyone for putting this on, and I look forward to racing with y'all in the future.
Thank you very much for your time, Jason. Congratulations again on a third place finish and second place finish in the championship, and we look forward to talking to you later on, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
There you have it. Jason Jacoby comes up just a little bit short from winning the championship tonight. John Mushton making his way down pit road a little bit further to find a guy who kind of mixed things up amongst the top four. That's David Comstock. Started fifth in this race. Really didn't talk about him through most of the event, but at the end of the deal, as always, he was right there in the top two and in contention for the win. John, you've caught up with him.
That's right. I've caught up with Dave Comstock down here. David, have you calmed down a little bit there, buddy?
Oh yeah, we're good. Ran a good race. Kind of just bided my time a bit, just trying to take care of the car or the truck, and take care of the tires and everything. And we got some long runs in and was holding our own, and running pretty much a clean race. Got a little roughed up, but in the end, we got back up toward the front and worked some strategy out with Trey, and happy to see Trey win the thing tonight, and congrats on him in the championship.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a hell of a show y'all put on tonight, and for you to come so close to winning this race had to mean something for you. Do you, we talked to Jason a few minutes ago. He said that the contact wasn't intentional. How did you feel about it?
Well, there wasn't a gap there. I don't know what gap he was trying to go for. Had I not been there, he would have slid up all the way to the top lane. I don't think he would have hit the wall, but definitely if he was trying to do a slider, there wasn't enough room for him to do that. So I mean, I applaud him for the attempt. It was a hard, good hard fought attempt, but the result of it, I wasn't pleased with, because that's just not respectful to the guys who are running around if you're just going to go put people on the wall like that. So I try to race them clean. I race everybody clean, but it's going to start coming down to you race somebody how you race them, and I've had more on the bad ends recently as far as that goes. So, but then again, I try to race clean, race everybody as clean as I can. I don't like being a butt out there, but some people like to as well.
Well, Dave, it was a hell of a run either way that you go, man. I mean, you damn near won this thing. Do you want to thank anybody for your second place run?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting SRN. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast all year long with Joe Gibbs Racing, their support for broadcasting. Boris for partnering with Sim Racing, or it's Sim 500 in the leagues here, and the admins, all they do for putting all the leagues out here. And RacingBids.com. If you go to Facebook and check out on their page there, RacingBids.com, on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, there's auctions that go on. So there's all kinds of really cool NASCAR collectibles. You can go try to get some real good deals on some stuff we have out there. So go check that out. JD Laird, JDR Graphics, Gary Mercer Trucking, Moss Energy, everybody out there watching. Thank you guys.
Yeah, that RacingBids.com is something I might look into, man. I found a box full of Jeff Gordon memorabilia here at my house that I need to get rid of before my wife kills me. Well, there you have it, folks. Second place runner Dave Comstock, his thoughts on the race, his thoughts on the contact on track. Yeah, great run tonight. Thank you very much for your time there, Dave.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw it back up to Ben in the booth. Actually, no, Ben's made his way down to victory lane to talk to our championship winner, our race winner in the Old School's Graphics and Designs victory lane interview, Trey Edson.
Thank you very much, John. We'll talk about the race first, and then we'll get to the, that little bitty thing called a championship a little bit later. We'll bring Boris, the representative from Joe Gibbs Racing, up to officially award the championship. But Trey, tonight's race, man, what an exciting race. You out there on old tires holding off everybody behind you. I bet you were sweating bullets at that moment of the race.
Yeah, I'm still sweating. It's a good thing I wore some deodorant today. Hold on, let me back up. I wear deodorant every day, but it's a good thing I put like a new coat on before the race. Yeah, I made a huge mistake staying out. I kind of had a mind game or a game plan of pitting like lap 50, lap 100, and we had only ran a few laps. So I was shocked at how many pitted. I was hoping I had some people stay out to give me a buffer back to the fresh tires. But yeah, I think Chad in the server, but I can't thank Chad Cole enough. He was, you can't ask for someone to be more patient than he was. I pinched him down on the restart when I had the fresher tires. I did everything to hold on to the lead. So it's I told him when the roles are reversed sometime this year, I'm gonna definitely have to keep that in the memory bank and cut him a break, because he cut me a huge one tonight.
That he did. And talk about that final restart where you were able to get by. He stays out on, or he didn't stay out. He comes in, gets 2 tires. A great strategy call for him, just kind of maybe a last-ditch effort to try and steal the win away from you, who pretty much dominated the whole race, dominated the past couple of weeks here in the JGR series. But talk about that move he put on him there on that restart to get around him.
It's really fool's luck, man. I know we haven't really talked about the championship part of it yet, but I was kind of out of it. If people were watching last week, I was out of it, and I got suspended earlier this season, um, and I thought I was out of it. They didn't announce that there was going to be a Final Four yet, and I was outside of that top 4 anyway. And then somebody they didn't show up. So I mean, it's just crazy. It's dumb. The connection of this is the dumb luck for me to fall into the top 4, and then Fuller was out of the race. He's a good teammate of mine. He was spotting, so he's like, Chad Cole took 2. Well, I had unchecked my left side tires. I was like, okay, I'm going to take 2 and maintain the lead. Well, they came around and changed the left sides. So that's what ultimately won me the race, was the pit crew changing the left sides. So whatever lane he picked into turn 1 on the restart, I was going to the opposite one. I knew the bottom could work for at least a lap or 2. And once I got the lead, I knew I wanted to pick the high lane on the restart for the final restart. David's a teammate of mine. It's good to have teammates at the front when we can roll together on restarts. So I tried to pick the lane so he could get rolling and kind of race Jason. That way I could check out.
Well, there you have it. A lot of skill and, as you mentioned, a lot of luck playing into factor for not only winning one of these races, but coming home with a championship for the race tonight. Who do you want to thank for putting you here in victory lane?
I just got to thank you guys. Y'all have done a great job. I'm so glad y'all are partnered with Sim 500. You've done a great job. You kind of know us all, so during the broadcast you relate. You're not kind of out there just blindly calling the race. You kind of know our personalities. You know the stories, the drama, who doesn't like who, et cetera, et cetera. Got to think Interstate Batteries. That is an insane prize to put up to do what they're doing. Boris, I know he puts a ton of effort behind this. It's crazy what him and Joey have created here. So it's only, I believe it's the second time they've done it. So it's cool to be a champion. Something that'll always be remembered.
There you have it. Trey Edson winner tonight, and we'll bring in Boris with Joe Gibbs Racing into victory lane now, and Boris going to officially recognize Trey Edson as the champion here in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series.
Ooh, thanks, guys. What a off-season series. That was awesome. Congrats to Trey Edson on the well-deserved, well-fought championship, and of course Chad and Jason as well. That was a lot of fun. We had some good races this year. It was great.
That we did, and not only from our standpoint, Boris, but from everybody at Sim 500, all the drivers. We thank everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing for being behind us, and Interstate Batteries for all the support. And let's talk about that the prize deal that they put up for Mr. Edson here. We had to wait 150 laps to see who was going to take it home, but Trey Edson going to go to Texas in the spring.
Yeah, happy to officially announce that Trey's the champion, and courtesy of Interstate Batteries, they're going to fly him out to the Texas Spring Race out there. All expenses paid for the flight and the hotel and the food, within limits on the food. We don't know how much Trey eats, but then he's going to get a little meet and greet as well with Kyle and maybe some others, and hopefully I'll get to shake his hand as well. So we're happy to have him out there, and really thankful to Interstate Batteries. I mean, they really went out on a limb and said, we want to be ahead of our time and reach a new audience. And what's really cool is that they were our founding partner at Joe Gibbs Racing in the real world, back 27-ish years ago. And they're essentially our founding partner in the sim racing world too, with everything going official with this series, and then also with the NASCAR Heat Pro Series, and also the iRacing Peak Series. So really excited to have them on board. They were here in person watching, and so that just shows the dedication they have. So it was really exciting, and I'm super excited to hear that they're going to offer such a great prize. So thank you also to you guys at Sim Racing Network. You were top notch, great calls of the action, great camera work and production and planning, and of course the Sim 500 network, or the league, I should say, with Joey and Chad and all sorts of people running that. And it's been great. It's been a great season.
That it has. Trey, who are you going to be rooting for when you head down to the spring race at Texas come time? I'll give you a hint. Either between 11 and 20 would be a good answer right about now.
Yeah. Boris, I actually have one of my best friends. He actually works with Boris. So, and my favorite driver just retired. So yeah, I'm looking for a new driver. I guess I just found him.
Hey, Trey, do you need a +1? I'll be your +1, man.
Yeah, it's weird. I've gotten a lot of Facebook friend requests in the last 15 minutes. That's weird how that happens. But thank you, Boris. It's crazy the effort you put into this, and to get Interstate Batteries on board and work with Joey. That's to bring something like that to the sim racing world is crazy. So it's I'm honored to be a champion.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's been fun watching you, and looking forward to meeting you in person. And congratulations again. And I also want to thank, of course, everybody here at Joe Gibbs Racing and Coach and Dave Alpert and everybody for putting this on. And special thanks to Max, who's sitting here, helped us produce this behind the scenes along with SRN. So it's a great thing. I'm really excited that momentum's picking up for sim racing. I've been doing it for almost 25 years, and I know you all have really been dedicated as well. And so thanks to everybody watching and everybody that commits to this. And once again, congrats, Trey.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Boris, I have a quick question for you.
All right.
Interstate Batteries, we all know the history between them and Joe Gibbs Racing. Like you said earlier, a few minutes ago, they've been on board pretty much since day one. That puts them right up there, as I think, doesn't it, as one of the longest existing NASCAR sponsors, right up there with DuPont/Exalta, correct?
Yeah, it's got to. I haven't done the math on it, and especially, sticking with one organization, and they actually have a deal where we call it Team Interstate. I mean, they sponsor all of our cars. I think, over the years, you've seen just about every driver we've fielded drive an Interstate car. And so, of course, Kyle's their hallmark driver. But yeah, you're right. I mean, long-standing, even before we hit the track, they were our partners. So it's a quite an amazing story, and they deserve a lot of kudos for that and sticking it out.
Yeah, it really is a great story. That's all I want to know, man, because I've been like you. I've been sim racing for several years, since 1995 now, and been a NASCAR fan since I could say the word race at 4. So, I remember the history of Interstate Batteries and Joe Gibbs Racing. I remember watching that Daytona 500 win, and it was so exciting, that first one, back in the days with Dale Jarrett. But well, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks for watching out there.
Thank you for stopping by and presenting the championship award, Boris, and thank you to everybody at Interstate Batteries and Joe Gibbs Racing, and thanks to all the viewers for tuning in tonight. That'll do it for the season here, and boy, it's kind of sad to see it come to an end, John. Just so much great racing throughout the year, and just man, what a way to cap it off though here tonight at Bristol.
It's been awesome, Ben. I can't even begin to find words, and I've got my dictionary right here, but it's not helping me out. Words to explain how much I have enjoyed this with you guys, being part of this series, being a part of the fun, watching the excitement of these guys getting on all these different tracks and all these different vehicles. It's a great format that they came up with, the guys at JGR and Sim 500 to really plan this out. Everybody says, well, how good of a driver are you really? Well, when you get these guys out here that drive on, 4 different cars on multiple different tracks, they even threw the Roval in, which killed a bunch of cars last week. But I mean, it's been so much fun, man. I just want to say thank you so much for letting me be a part of this experience, and I really, really look forward to doing this again.
It's been a fun ride and a fun off season nonetheless. We thank everybody for tuning in on a weekly basis right here with us here at the Sim Racing Network and right on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page. For everybody behind the scenes at Sim 500, Joey and the whole team, we thank all those guys. We thank everybody behind the scenes at Interstate Batteries and Joe Gibbs Racing, everybody behind the scenes here at the Sim Racing Network. For John Mushton, Mitch Rollo, I am Ben Kilcrease. Congratulations to Trey Edson. It's now time to head to Daytona and see if we can't have a great year for the Joe Gibbs Racing team. We look forward to that in this week, right? Or couple days. It's getting close, John.
Speed week starts, my friend. Yes.
There you go. Man, it snuck up on us. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Remember, when you're out there on the roads, to put that phone down. We'll see you next time right here on the Sim Racing Network.